Each week, we explore new music and dive deeper with the artists and their stories behind the music. Please subscribe and rate and review us wherever you stream this podcast. Here's your host, Steve Yusko.
Welcome back to part 2 of my interview with Kerry Kearney. What a blues master. He has his own genre called Psyche-Delta. And I tell you, there's so many interesting things and great things to learn from Kerry. He's coming up on his 25th anniversary as a group, and he's got so many interesting people that have intertwined in his career. Check out his cover of Dylan's song, The Girl from North Country.
If you're traveling in the North Country Fair, where the wind is heavy on the borderline, remember me to one who's there. She was once a true love of mine. See for me that her hair is hanging down. It rolls and flows all around her breast. See for me that her hair is hanging down. That's the way I remember her best.
Summer ends. Please see if she has a coat so warm to keep her from the howling winds.
Traveling in the North Country Fair, where the wind is heavy on the borderline, remember me to one who's there. She was once a true love of mine.
Hey everybody, it's Steve Yusko with the Long Island Sound Podcast, and I am blessed to have Kerry Kearney here, and Kerry's going to play another song for us. Take it away, Kerry.
Cool. This is something from the Delta. Drifting like a ship out on the sea. I'm drifting and drifting like a ship out on the sea. Oh, come on, now, sweet mama, yeah. You know where my ship ought to be. I'm rolling, rolling like a roller wagon wheel. Rolling, rolling like the roller wagon wheel. Oh, come on, sweet mama, yeah. You gotta know just, baby, how I feel. Drifting, drifting like a ship out on the sea. I'm drifting, drifting like a ship out on the sea. Ah, come on now, sweet mama, yeah. Where my ship, baby, ought to be.
That was beautiful, man. Hey, I want to touch upon what, you know, I've been on Discovery for this past year about music, and I get amazed every week about the diversity of music from Manhattan to Montauk. I mean, you've got bluegrass, you've got blues, you've got rock and roll, you've got punk, you've got rap. It's just, I'm kind of surprised every time. And now you've ventured off into other things. I think you call some Cajun type of music. Maybe you want to talk about some of the other genres you appreciate, I guess.
Well, what I did was I played with a Grateful Dead band, the Electrics. A friend of mine is the guitar player, Jerry Fleming. Very good friend of mine. I've known him for a million years. And he's a little older than I was. I used to watch him play when I was a kid, actually. And he had me come up and jam with him at a place in Bay Ridge one time. It was the Moose Lodge. It was upstairs of a bar. And he used to have a lot of like psychedelic bands would come in, or bands. They used to have a Yorma once in a while and stuff. So they were playing there one night, and he invited me up to play. And I brought my dobro, and I played with them. And after I played, a guy in the audience came up to me and said, "Wow, man, that was Psyche-Delta." It was like Psyche-Delta. And I said, "Oh man, I'm taking that name. I'm taking that word. Holy smoke!" So I took that and I did 3 or 4 CDs called Psyche-Delta. And what it basically is just me like jamming out on blues music with a different kind of beat or whatever it is. Okay. So I call it Psyche-Delta. Yeah.
So it's the Kerry genre, I guess. That's great.
Yeah, we coined the phrase. I mean, I don't know if anybody else uses it. I never really saw it out there anywhere else. It was it was our thing. And it's a lot of it has to do with like a good beat. I find with the band making a good kind of like a danceable beat. It could be Louisiana feel with some slide playing, kind of interweaving the whole thing. Well, it's really not. It's just what it is. But I just kind of call it that because it has this feeling of like jam with that. So it could be like a jam bandy blues type thing like that at the same time. I find if I can get to women, okay, if I can make them like the music that we do. I do some folk stuff. I do some love songs that are kind of folky in that kind of vein. If I can get them to like it, when their husband says, "Let's go see Kerry Kearney band" or whatever, it's like it's easy for them to come out because they'll say, "Oh, I like them," because I want to cater to them to dance or feel what's going on. So it's kind of a strategy of getting both together because they'll come out. It won't be like the husband can't come out because his wife is going to let him. Like they'll both come out. So in a selling point, it's like that. If you look at it that way, I mean,
I agree with you 100%. And I'll tell you a quick story that will solidify that. So, Mike Nugent, who's my guitar teacher.
Sure, yeah. Oh, Mike's great. I love Mike.
He's a great guy, most humble guy in the world. He's got another album they just came out with called Everything's Gonna Be Okay. So Mike played for us at our little beach club that we have down here. And the first thing the board members, which are all ladies, said, "Can we dance to it?" And I said, yeah. And I said, of course I said to Mike, "Hey, Mike, hey, make sure you," and he was great. I mean, they just played a lot of diverse music, and people want to have fun. That's how you can touch them. And that's great. Is you can't be a segment. You can't just be the blues guitar player that male audiophiles who like to listen to. I I'm gonna come at you at a left field. So I'm a big fan of Tedeschi Trucks, Derek Trucks slide guitar, and what I think it's done is I can't name any current very popular slide guitar players today. You know, we've got historically, and maybe you know more, obviously you know more than I do. I think he's kind of elevated the game with slide guitar playing. And I happened to see them. I was fortunate enough to get backstage passes through a friend whose brother-in-law is the guitar tech and mixer for the band.
Okay.
And,
nice.
And we went there, and I always like to watch the nuances between musicians on stage. I'm kind of keyed into that secret language that they have between each other. And what I really loved, this is just my take on it, he really passed the baton back to his wife so often to say, and she's a phenomenal singer and guitar player.
Yeah, right.
Susan Tedeschi. And I saw that interaction. I said, you know what, that's the coolest thing, because he can certainly become the front man as far as his acumen with the slide guitar. But it's so, in my opinion, so balanced. And anyway, just kind of your thoughts on that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, you know, it's shooting, you know, new energy into, you know, old blood in a certain sense, where it could, you know, the younger generation that can be turned on to something like this is amazing. I know, like a lot of parents of say that are my age of children. I don't have children, but I know parents like my brother. His two sons. One's a fantastic guitar player. The other one is a great bassist, actually, and they're like in their 30s now. But they were you know, weaned on music that he liked. You know what I mean? And because they just had it around the house, so they would turn on to that kind of stuff. And I feel that going to see Tedeschi Trucks is seeing a young person actually do that. And people of their age, they're getting into that whole feeling of that. You know, so I feel that people in that age group or that genre that he's turning on to is amazing. And it's got to be somewhere. The music is going to keep going on. It's going to you know, progress in a certain sense and just still bring what it is from the old days. It's got to be you know, it's got to be from somewhere and something. And his profile is pretty high too, so it's great. It's not like it's underground. You got to kind of search for him. He's kind of there. He's smoldering around the whole area of people that are watching. So, but there are guys too, like Sonny Landreth. I got to play with Sonny a couple of times. I got to open. I actually jammed with him too. It was great. And a person like him too. That's another slide guitar player who really he's different than Derek in a certain sense. Derek is more of he took the Dwayne and a little bit like a raga and made that kind of raga thing going on at the same time. When Sonny is more of a Louisiana guy, he's very percussive, he's very odd, stuff like that. But there's a lot of great stuff coming out of, you just got to kind of seek it out. People say there's no music out there, blah, blah, blah. It's nonsense. It's all over the place. Everywhere you look, you can slip all over it. You know, it's all over it. Anyway.
You know what's funny is because in starting this podcast, you know, as we get older, we can get into that, you know, we were talking about reminiscing about guitars you had as a kid and that sort of thing. But you can kind of get stuck in that rut. I'm a big Neil Young fan. I love Neil Young all day long. He's stayed relative throughout his whole career. But then you can kind of get stuck in that rut of just listening to the oldies. When my favorite station is WFUV out of Fordham. You know, they just play a diverse group of music, and you know, maybe it's just my reflecting on I want to stay relative, you know, as I get older, you know. You know,
if you
you're right.
Seek out, like WUSB, I've been friends with USB for over 25 years. And Lon Prussell, who runs, you know, he's a great purveyor of the whole thing. He was like the guy who started the whole thing in a lot of ways. And there's a DJ on there, besides like Mark Klein and Mario, my drummer, was on it. He was a DJ on there, and a couple of people that I love. Crystal Porter is a Louisiana guy, does world music and that, who's a great friend of mine. There's a guy, his name is Gavin Melton. And Gavin Melton, I think he's he's not there now. He actually takes a vacation for the winter. But he's on, I think he's on early in the morning, maybe in the middle of the week sometime. I got to find out. Gavin Melton, look him up on WUSB. And he plays the greatest. He's the best day on WFUV. That's what he plays. But it's a little more rootsy, but he'll throw in like a Yorma tune you never heard. Then he'll throw in, some Louisiana band. Then he'll throw in Professor Longhair. Then he'll play some country band or somebody from Texas, some Tex-Mex thing, blah, blah. And they'll throw me in, which is great. And then he'll throw so-and-so, so-and-so. But it's like, his radio station is great. And he owns and he runs in Fire Island a place called The Shack over in Atlantique. And we're there twice a year, actually. We're there like in the beginning of summer, at the end of the summer. And he's just fabulous. His station, his show is the most amazing show. It really is fantastic. Like I said, stuff you don't hear, but you got it on. You're like, oh, this is great. Oh, this is another great tune. What a great song. It's kind of like when you listen to like a really good, something on like satellite radio or something like that, like a genre of music, and it comes on. You don't really hear a lot of it before, but it's great. He has that kind of mood going. Oh, it's fantastic. It's great.
Yeah, talk about WSUV. I had SUB, excuse me. I had Mary Lamont on. WUSB.
Okay, great. Oh, yeah,
it's getting late. Mary Lamont was on, and Gene Casey, who was just
Oh, Gene's fantastic. Really good, really great guy.
And a tall guy. Let me tell you, I interviewed Gene like we're
I
doing now. And
towers over me. Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my God. He's like 6'8". He's huge. And he's got as big as heart, as tall as he is. So it was really, really kind of cool. It's a great station, and I lament the fact of, when I go out with my wife, Debbie, I want to hear live music. That's the first thing we look for. And then we look for a beer that she likes, because there's certain beers. She's Irish, so she's got to have her Smittix. And we pick a place. But it's sometimes hard to find those places where you can find original music. You'll get the cover bands that'll maybe throw in a couple of songs, but we need more venues that are going to take that chance and say, hey, let's do original music, and there's so much great stuff here. There's so much to discover. I mean, I've got a list. Oh, I know what you can help me with. I saw that David Bennett Cohen was in your band at one point, correct?
Yes. Yeah, he still is. He still plays with us. In other words, we do a show that's a little bigger with this, that. I always have David on. He's my guy.
I got to have him on. Hey, let's talk about, you're coming up on 25 years as a band. I know there's been some changes, so tell us about that gala that's coming up.
We did a 15-year one, okay? Mm-hmm. We did it at the Bolton Center, which now is closed. I heard it's going to open again, though. They're going to open it up again over in Bayshore. We did it there first, and it was overwhelming. It was fantastic. And then we did a 20th anniversary there. That was fantastic also. That was great. But now that it's closed, I did a show at the grand opening of the Long Island Hall of Fame. When I was doing our show, we were playing, I thought, this is the place. Where else is it going to be? We'll have a big party. Right. We'll have a gala. We'll have it catered, the whole thing, and we'll put some chairs around the perimeter where it is. That's where I saw you. You were there.
Yeah, I covered it for NYS Music.
But I was there actually the grand opening. It might have been like the next day or something like that. I think. Or that weekend.
Yeah, they had it. They had the private one where it was like a zoo with people all over the place.
And then it was the next when I had the public one opened up. That was the day we played, and it was overwhelming. It was fantastic. But I said I got to do it there. So we're gonna have it there, and it's sold out. We sold it out in almost a day, and then we added more tickets, and then that sold out by the end of the day also. Which I could have put on
two or 3 days.
Yeah. So we could have had a thing, but the place it's only got a certain amount. When I gave them the number about 125 people, and they thought, okay, I would have liked to have had more. But then he came back to me and he said, "Listen, we need more people." I said, "We can put more in. Let's people want the tickets." And I was like, "Are you sure? This is you talking now. This is not me saying I'm putting people in there. You got to tell me." And I said, "Okay, that's great." And we did it like that. And a lot of friends will be there. I got a lot of friends that are going to come that we played with throughout the years. I've lost a few great friends, unfortunately, and really very, very close friends of mine. It's really sad, but that we used to do stuff with. But anyway. I'll have some new people there. It's going to be surprises. We're good.
What date?
February 11th, Saturday, February 11th.
Great, wonderful.
At the Long Island Hall of Fame.
By the way, I just want to make a quick mention. We'll have a link to all of Kerry's music and his website, which is kerrykearneyofficial.com, I believe. Correct? Yep. So
and one more guy you got to get a hold of is Michael Falzarano. Michael Falzarano played with Hot Tuna.
Okay.
The New Riders of Purple Sage. And he plays with us. We have a new band. I put a band together last year. And the band is called Kings of the Psyche-Delta, I call it. And what it is, it's all the people in the band played with somebody famous at one time.
Nice.
So Michael played with those bands and then some. David Menacone, of course, was with the Blues Project and his band, Country Joe and the Fish.
Right.
That was his big thing. And Mario and Jerry were with Savoy Brown. My conga player was Nydia Liberty Mata. She was with I can't think of her name now. It's unbelievable. I'm going. It's getting late. Is right.
Yeah, it's getting late. But also
Laura Nero. She was with Laura Nero for 20 years. Anyway, the great songwriter. So all of us, I said, let's do this. Let's drop some names and go out and play some gigs. So last summer we did a bunch of stuff. It was fantastic.
Nice.
And they're all going to be there. That group will be with us at the 25th anniversary. It's going to be fun. But if you want to do a great interview, and a guy will have stories that you won't believe about Hot Tune and everybody like that, it's Michael Falzerano. You got to talk to him. I'm going to call him tonight, actually, after we talk.
That'd be great. I tell you. Now, you're going to be doing anything outside of New York? You're going to do any traveling with your band at all, or you pretty much stick to the local gigs during the summer?
I've been talking to, because I don't like to fly, I've been talking to a very dear friend of mine, actually, Heather Hardy. Another girl, you got to, she's my fiddle player. Great violinist.
Yep.
She lives in Arizona. And hopefully she'll be in for this show, too. But she's been telling me, you got to come out here. We got to come out here. So I told Michael Falzerano, he's got a great agent. He has a lot of places out there that we can do it. So I might go out there possibly maybe at the end of March or into April and do like a little tour of that whole Southwest thing.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So that might bring the Psyche-Delta out there, which would be kind of cool.
That's nice. Hey, why don't you do this? I'm going to sign off with you, but I'd like you to play a tune on the way out if you're okay with that.
I'll do another slide tune, actually.
Yeah,
cool.
if you can do that, that would be great. But I got to say this.
I'll do a Psyche-Delta song.
All right, good. So I got to say this. I know I was a real pain in the ass trying to get you on the show, and I kept pinging you. And I really do appreciate you taking the time to do this. I learned a lot. I think you got a lot to teach people. You also teach music as well and have students out there. But a good friend of mine, Bobby Murray, told me, he goes, you can account for what you have in the bank, what you own. You can never account for what time you have left. And the fact you've given me close to 2 hours here of content and time. Great. And it's good to know you for sure. So why don't you
Steve, the best, man. Thank you so much.
Lead us out of the program, and thanks again, Kerry.
You got it. A little Psyche-Delta tune. Here we go. I got my old guitar, my old pair of shoes. Gonna love you, baby, but I gotta play some blues. I love to love you, mama. Love you high and dry. Yeah, I love to love you, baby, but I'm still on a Memphis high. Susie on my left and Mary on my right. Don't know which mama I'm gonna love tonight. Well, I love to love you, mama. Love you high and dry. I love to love you, baby, but I'm still on a Memphis high. Oh, yeah, baby.
Thanks, brother. That was beautiful. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate the time you spent with us. Please subscribe and comment and visit us at gigdestiny.com. Till next time, be generous with your joy, keep your spirits high, and let the music take you on a journey. Be well. Peace.